Well, I hadn't posted anything in a little while, but been working on something I wanted to do a quick video of. This little greenhouse behind me. So step inside here for a minute, see what she looks like. All right, inside. So pretty basic 2x4 construction. I've got a 8mm twin wall polycarbonate panel. One cool thing about that, you can find them in 2-foot widths now, and that makes the shipping a whole lot cheaper because they don't have to crate it up. So you can look around for that. But that made it really easy to order the panels. I think I just did 8 and 12-foot lengths and cut to what I needed. Everything is stained. I had a kind of unexpected, I actually liked the look of it, but I really did it to protect the wood. This was just some deck stain I still had. And the benches are adjustable. There's other ways probably I would do benches again today, but these work really well. I can lay down and take a nap on them. So maybe that'll come in handy this winter. But for now it works just fine. I like them, and really the leveling is only because I like to water things from the bottom up, so I like them in trays. So I just pour the water in the tray and let the soil wick it up, and it's easier, and it's just a whole lot easier to do, and the leveling only matters because if your tray is tilted, all your water is going to go to one side, and one side will get dry before the other. But so you don't even have to do that. It's just on a 4x4 treated base, and I originally designed it to be mobile. I built it in the garage, in my garage. I'll put some pictures up of that. I have really good intentions of filming it as I went, but it's honestly one of the last things I think about when I'm doing something is, hey, I should stop and film this. So I'm trying to play catch up because I like to see projects. I like to see finished product, obviously, but also the process is interesting, and the process involves failures or recalculations or redesign. It's interesting to see why people do that, or how you adjust along the way, because that's more real world. I meant to show that, I failed. Sorry. Although this is not complete, there's still a lot that I'm still working on with this, so hopefully I can be a little more consistent. We'll see. There's a whole element to this. I'm actually really hot right now. It's 80 plus, maybe 90 degrees in here, and it's about 33 degrees outside. Normally this fan would be on to ventilate it, but I unplugged it because you can't hear me if I did that. But that's why I love greenhouses. It's awesome, it's effective. This will be a really cool space in the winter, I think, to be able to come, and it's sort of modular in the sense that I can just take this wall out and build another one just like this and attach it. It's 7 foot wide. I really like the extra width, especially because I'm planning on keeping some plants and things growing here through the growing season. Things that like hotter weather, like peppers and a few tomatoes and things. You can't see it, but it's right behind the phone. There's an air conditioning filter that filters the incoming air that this spits out. That helps keep all the mold spores out of here. We have problems with blight and other fungal diseases, and so it gives me a place to be able to grow some things that I want to save the seeds for, grow heirloom plants and save the seeds, propagate those. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The ground is just had an old sand pit here, and so it's just a driveway underlayment fabric. You use landscape fabric, it's essentially the same thing. This is just a little thicker. That's my floor, so I don't have to, I occasionally sweep it and whatever, but I don't have to worry about water or anything. So it's not laser level, which is why I had to build the ability for the benches to be leveled. But it works just fine for what it is. And if I want to one day move it further out in my field, I can do that. Just put the wheels back on it, take the tractor, and disconnect the solar and drive it off. So that's the whole, maybe another video of I'll do around the automation. There's some programming I've written. There's some dashboards and some things I can check on the greenhouse wherever I am. I can see how my solar's doing. I can see how the greenhouse is doing. And it's a little Raspberry Pi that's doing the automation around ventilating it, turning the fan on and off. And I'll be adding watering, so it'll just be a pump. I'll put a gutter on outside into a bucket, put a pump in there. The pump will be on an outlet controlled by the Pi, so it'll either be on a schedule or I could get fancy and there's little moisture meters I could even do. Take an average of a moisture reading, multiple times a day, and if it's dry, kick the pump on and water everything. And then the solar and battery banks also run the germination pads. Germination pads are a massive help even in a greenhouse to be able to germinate quickly. And the plan is, we'll see how it goes, but the plan is to actually run this during the winter and use the germination pads to provide the soil, kind of, if you can keep the root bed warm and get a little radiant heat off of that. We'll see what I can grow. I don't know yet what will survive and what won't, but we'll give it a try. So anyway, let's step outside and I'll show you the outside of it. And then, like I said, I'll do another video at some point of, there's a lot of work I put into the automation and monitoring and sort of self-sustaining components, the solar of the greenhouse, that may appeal to some other people like me. So this is it from the outside, and it's pretty straightforward. These are little 1x that I charred, and that's just a aluminum drip edge. So these are charred with a weed burner, propane weed burner, and then I put an outdoor urethane on it, and that's just aluminum drip edge you can get at Lowe's, and it protects the underside of these panels. Has a breathable tape on it that helps the panels dissipate any moisture that may get trapped in there. And so it just protects. I thought it would be a good idea to protect that edge from UV in particular, from the sun degrading it. It's on a 4x4 treated base, so I could kind of set it wherever I want. I had designed or thought about, anchoring it. Uh, Honestly, as heavy as this thing is, it's going absolutely nowhere. So I don't think I'm even going to bother. We've had some really high winds here, 50 plus mile an hour gusts, and it's not even budged. I went in the thing to see how it handled it, and no movement at all. So I'm not too worried about it anymore. This is still a work in progress in the back here for the ventilation. You can see my solar panels. I actually probably will just leave them right where they are, focus on other things. But I think I'm going to end up putting this is purely a function of the direction I placed it. In my environment, the wind just blows really hard, right straight smack into that fan. So if the fan's not running, like at night, you may as well have a fan blowing cold air in. It really affects the temperature inside. So I've been coming out and manually blocking it up. But I'm going to come up with something to fix that. Probably some gravity closing shutters or something like that, just to keep that cold air from infiltrating so bad. So that is still a work in progress. I'm working on that. I haven't put the gutter, or I'll put the gutter and rain barrel on this side, but you can kind of see when I was talking about building it mobile, I've got a lot of room to be able to do that. Whether I actually will or not, I don't know. I put it close to my container, or not container, raised beds. Ignore the green water. That was my daughter's science experiment of some sort. But I wanted it close to be able to transplant, and I also have another garden further out in the field there. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So if you got questions, let me know. I'll probably do another video on because I think it'll appeal to, maybe a slightly different audience of the automations. But I think there's some really cool things to being able to have a greenhouse that ventilates itself, waters itself, heats itself, and the goal is is self-sufficient with power. I think there's a lot of practical applications for something like that, and I can monitor it really wherever I am, and that's another benefit. So anyway, if you got questions or thoughts or comments, let me know. Thanks for watching.